Hey guys, everyone who's watching, everyone who will be watching. Welcome to the Aalto Open Days. This is the webinar dedicated to the School of Science. So you'll be able to meet some interesting people and ask any questions that you have regarding that. If you're joining us from a different time zone, I warmly welcome you from whatever time of the day it could be, and we're very happy to have you here. All right, let's move right along. So yeah, as I already said, today we're going to be sort of venturing into what it's like to study a master's degree at the School of Science in Aalto. And essentially how this is going to work is that this is a panel discussion. So I, as an interviewer, will be asking our panelists various relevant questions and they will be answering. And you guys are a part of this as well, where you have the freedom to just go and head over to the chat and ask any questions that you may have that might pop up during this webinar. And we're going to sort of have a Q&A session towards the end of this webinar where we go through your questions and address them, any worries or concerns that you might have, or just anything really. Just a particular note that any questions regarding admission requirements or anything in that general field, we actually have a separate webinar for that on Friday with our admission services from Aalto. So if you guys have anything regarding admission services, you get to grill our very own staff on Friday. So we've got you covered on that. Don't worry about it. We've got sort of everything covered. So no worries. You can also contact them through email. They're very quick to answer, and that's through admissions@aalto.fi. So it's like a hotline for any questions you have regarding admissions. All right, moving right along. So you must be wondering, who are we, these three strangers on your screen? Well, hi, I'm Labiba, and I will be your interviewer for today. I'll be the one doing all the grilling and interrogating. Just a side note that I do indeed have a cough right now. So if I start coughing in the middle of my sentence, I greatly apologize. I swear it's not on purpose, but we're gonna make this work and it'll be a nice webinar anyways. And then I'd like our panelists to introduce themselves. Just go ahead.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Katya and I'm studying human-computer interaction. I'm doing my second year of studies here at Aalto, and I'm very, very pleasant to be here today and to talk about my studies.
Hello everyone, this is Mohan, studying industrial engineering management. Currently, I'm also in the second year. Yeah, excited and looking forward for this webinar.
Great, thanks guys. So we'll just get started. So the first section of questions is dedicated to just overall studies. So let's dive right in. So why did you guys choose Aalto University, and particularly Finland, as the place of your studies? And for example, Mohan could start.
Yeah, sure. So actually, I had a previous experience of being in Europe, and that's the time when I decided that Europe would be a perfect choice for my work and personal life balance. So that's the first choice, is the first filter is within the Europe. And then my focus is mostly on what I'm going to study. So I have a clear idea of choosing a management study to my technical knowledge. So, and then I was looking for some particular courses and that's where I bombarded with industrial engineering and management. And yeah, that's my second filter. And the third filter comes with the flexibility of studies. So when I was looking for different universities within the Europe, there are some other countries which are offering similar courses. But that's when I decided what I want to do after 10 years. So that's a little rough planning that I had. So that then I was looking what would be my correct fit. And that's boiled down to the perfect match of Aalto University. And that's how I am I applied to Aalto University 2 years back, and here I am presenting with my experience with you. Yeah, Katarina, would you like to?
Yeah, sure. For me, my path with Aalto University started even before my studies here, because I was a part of ASCII internship for bachelor students. So I spent 3 months here in 2019 working with user interfaces laboratory. So that is why this is what was one of my first choices for application for master studies. But besides, I also was very sure that I want to study human-computer interaction as my master's degree, because for my bachelor studies, I completed sociology courses and social sciences in general, but I wanted to deepen my technological knowledge. So this is a perfect balance between like social sciences and programming and technical stuff. And finally, speaking about Finland in general, I'm from St. Petersburg, the Russian city, which is very close to the border with Finland. So it was a very common way to spend my time and holidays. So I fell in love with this country a long time ago. So this was a perfect fit for me, and I'm very pleasant to be here for these 2 years.
Great. Thanks, guys. Very interesting paths that led you to Finland and to Aalto. Let's move along. So for you guys, what is the best part about studying at Aalto and at the School of Science here? And Katja, you can start this time.
For me, the very best part is that there is a long list of possibilities to start actually working on the field of your interest. Like, for example, I hold a position of research assistant at the UI lab, and I tried there different things from the field of my interest. And it is a perfect way to shape your interest and to really understand what you want to do after completing your degree. And what about you, Mohan?
Yeah, I add to the same point that you mentioned, Katharina, long list of opportunities while studying itself. And on top of that, you have, as I explained before, also the flexibility of choosing courses, where I'm doing my major in operations and service and doing my minor in startup. Similarly, I have seen people who are doing arts courses, just they have the passion for that, and they were exploring different areas. So the studies here will never restrict you whatsoever. So you have the freedom, you can go different directions, what your passion is. And that's the best part here. And the image that you see on the right is the actual image of PDP, which is a product development course organized by the Design Factory, where we build a product in a span of 1 year. So these kind of multidisciplinary opportunities where you meet different background people and work together to gain that experience, not only multidisciplinary, multicultural. So all this is a very wonderful experience. So, and I think that's the best part of my studies here for these 2 years.
Perfect. All right. So what was it specifically that made you guys want to study your field? And I know you've already touched on it, but just sort of explore it deeper, and Mohan could go first.
Yeah. So I had before coming to Finland, my undergraduate is in mechanical engineering, where I specialized in manufacturing, especially. And as I explained, I am looking, when I decided to study, I was more focused on adding management course to my already existing technical knowledge. And at the same time, I don't want to go far away from my technical core knowledge. So that's the decision that's the planning that I had. And then for me, the perfect choice is industrial engineering and management, where I stay with my core technical knowledge. On top of that, I add management layer. So that's how I choose this industrial engineering and management. And then in that, I again have an option to different majors, for example, operations, strategy, or leadership. So, and then I evaluated myself where I want to be after 4 or 5 years. So then I decided that operations would be a perfect fit. And that's how I choose that field in terms of planning wise. In terms of career wise, also, I had a little more deeper thought of working in industries. So, and I think this was a perfect fit to my intentions, and that's how I ended up in these courses. And that time I had a little knowledge when I joined this course that there are multidisciplinary people which are surrounded by me. So I have a friend who is doing machine learning from School of Science, and it's altogether different experience where every course you sit, you are with someone who is doing a complete different background, and that gives an opportunity to learn new stuff which you will never learn if you're surrounded with the same group of people. And I think this was something came as a surprise, but I have really enjoyed it all these 2 years. Katerina, I think you have much more good explanation on the reason why you chose this field.
Well, I have actually like quite an opposite situation because I had a more of a social sciences background. Like I studied with data science minor during my bachelor studies, but it was not enough for me because I really liked it. So that is why I was starting to look for a more technical program. And human-computer interaction, in my opinion, is one of the best choices you can make in this situation because the curriculum and suggested courses really combines like machine learning courses with studies about social media, and you can look into very, very different topics and find what is really interesting to you. Like, for example, during my bachelor studies, my bachelor thesis was devoted to studying user opinions on their favorite esports team during like professional seasons. So here, during my master studies, I could apply this knowledge for such courses as Bayesian data analysis. And it is really cool that you can apply everything you really need to know and you're interested to know to the topics that you are passionate about, because this is really my case for studies in Aalto University. You can try to investigate really different things. Like, for example, during one of the courses, we tried to do an emotion recognition on the Zoom sessions. And for me, like 3 years ago, it would sound impossible because I really thought that I'm not into this technical stuff to this extension. But here I am really enjoying my studies. And also, I really like working with people, and human-computer interaction is not that far from the people. It's not only about programming and doing very technical stuff, but it is also about user needs and what you can do to make people's life better. And I really, really like this.
Great. Thank you guys for the very elaborate answers. And now we're going to move on to what your studies are actually like. And this is a sort of two-part question where it's what is the course structure? Do you have like seminars, exercises, group work? And then also consider how flexible are your studies? So how much can you affect the courses that you take? And also, is there something like mandatory attendance for your lectures? So whoever wants to start can start.
I can start, I guess. This is actually one of my photos from the very first lecture that I attended in the university after the pandemic started begin to ease, and it was possible to at least go to the university. It was nice. Speaking about format and flexibility, first to start with, you create your personal study plan by yourself, and it is very cool because, for example, I combine major studies which are recommended from like the head of the program. Then I have elective courses from arts department because it was my hobby throughout the years, and it is nice that I can elaborate them here. And finally, I have a major in data science. So it is a very versatile study plan to my mind, which is kind of cool. And the majority of courses, they are not mandatory to attend. It is, I had, I guess, only a couple of courses which really required attendance to the lectures, but the rest of them, you can free to go from the lectures. Just be sure that you go with assignments every time. And a lot of courses do have group work for at least some final assignments, the big assignments, which usually have like 3 or 4 people, which is nice because since you do your study plan yourself, there is a very versatile background of the students, so you can really match with people from a different department or even different school, so you can elaborate on your ideas from different perspectives and to make the result better. And a lot of courses have exercise groups, and they usually led by students. Like, for example, I'm a teaching assistant for a user research course, and I lead exercise groups on Mondays. And there we just discuss with students their assignments. I give a small tutorials, and they can ask questions they need to know, like to go further if they need to. Yeah, Mohan, would you like to add?
Yeah, I think my courses are also similar to what Katharina was discussing. And yes, of course, we do make our own study plan. So you have that flexibility of adding your own courses and the schedules timetable that you can fit in to that period. So that's how studies progress. Coming to these exercises and assignments, it's actually depends mostly on the kind of course that you are choosing. If it is more like a management course, so you have more opportunity to work in exercises or with companies. That's another additional point that I would put forward to the Katharina, whatever she has discussed. So it depends on the kind of course, and the courses are well thought of, and they're organized in such a way that the workload is distributed over a period, and the assignments depending upon that course requirement. And just to give one more fact, I think I have worked approximately 6 or 7 companies during my course period. So where I work for the company's problem statement, and then depending upon how I solve those problem statement, I get my grades. Either it might be a group work or it might be sometimes individual work. So you that kind of integration with the courses is there here in Aalto University, and that gives a lot of opportunity to build the networks with the companies. So it's the courses are little flexible, and they are a little different, and the credits are different. So there are a lot of possible combinations in this. Yeah, that's my experience with my studies.
Yeah, it's actually the only thing that I also can add, that there are a lot of guest lectures from the companies. Like, for example, we have lectures from Elisa, which is one of the biggest problem with networking here in Finland. Or I remember we did a user experience study for Oma-Olo, which is like a website from the Ministry of Health here in Finland. So like students have really a lot of opportunities here to try their skills.
All right, some very interesting examples there. Thank you, guys. I just like to remind the participants real quick that you can use the chat option to send any questions that pop up in your head, any random thought, whatever it is, just go ahead and write it. Then we can move on. Mohan, you have your hand up?
That was accident.
Oh, okay, that's fine. All right, so we'll move along. So the next question is, are there multidisciplinary opportunities in your studies, and does it play a part in your studies? And Mohan, since you had your hand up, I'll let you answer first.
Yeah, I think I was waiting for this opportunity to get that. Thanks. Yeah, actually, while I was doing my courses, I had multiple hats, either in terms of managing the group, or either it goes with the technical stuff that needs to be done in that particular project or particular course. So there are different opportunities. Again, it depends on what direction you want to go ahead. So it's, for example, I was part of this product development program, which is a 1-year course where we form a team with multidisciplinary students. I think it was around 5 people from Aalto University, and there are 3 people from Poland. So that I was acting as a project manager, where I'm taking care of all the schedules that we need to, the timelines that we need to deliver, all the deliverables that was planned. So in that, I was taking care of project manager as well as I was leading in some design aspect. That kind of opportunities you get in the studies. And then again, I had opportunity to work in ABB during summer, where I was doing the product management trainee role. That was a complete different experience for me on the management side, because until now my experience is more towards the technical background. So yes, you get different opportunities. You don't know what kind of opportunities you will be getting it, but if they are aligned with your goals, don't hesitate to grab it. So that's how I did it until now. And I think you get an experience, whether you like it or you don't like it. So then you can decide on what you want to decide in the future. Yeah, this is my experience. Katerina, please.
Yeah, I would like to add about multidisciplinary studies, because, for example, arts department provides open courses for everyone. And last year I attended a course about design and culture, which actually like a bunch of excursions. We should have a bunch of excursions, but due to pandemic, we had Zoom sessions with different architectures and like people from the like Finnish arts field. And it was kind of cool because there were combined people from business, chemical engineering, human-computer interaction, and so on and so on. And there you can really find out different perspectives on very common things that you experience during your everyday life. And this is, I'm really like this opportunity. And also this year I will have a course on arts and artificial intelligence, which also sounds really cool, and that you can try a lot of things there and to speak to people from other departments. But still, even in my major studies, there is also a lot of people who try to do stuff there. Like during user research, we have a bunch of business students, and they also they are interested in the things that are not their primary field, but still, while communicating, you know a lot more even about the things that you think that you have already known a lot about. Yep.
Great. Thank you, guys. Moving right along. So the next question is, what is your course load like? And this is a very sort of, you guys are going to have to go into detail because we have international participants. And basically this is asking, what does a study year at Aalto look like? Sort of, how does it work? How many study credits do you need per year? How many credits are there per course? How does the period system work, since we have 5 periods? And also, if you guys would like to add, what kind of courses are you taking at the moment right now? And Katya, you can start.
Sure. So master studies are basically 2 years, and each year consists of 5 periods, 2 in the first semester, 3 in the second one. Each period lasts for 8 weeks, and you have 1 exam week after each of the period. And usually, I think the majority of courses last for 2 periods. Sometimes you have a small courses for 1 period, but they are the minority of them, I suppose. A lot of courses are 5 credits. Language courses are usually 3 credits. And sometimes you have big courses, which are like 6 credits, and master thesis is 30 credits, as far as I remember. And for example, I have now 2 courses only, which is machine learning, supervised methods, and decision making and probability theory. But starting with second period, I will have 4 courses at once. So now I'm just taking it to ease my studies, and I also have an opportunity to focus on my job as a teaching assistant, which is a 1 period course, for example. And usually it is important to remember that a lot of courses have a lot of assignments, and they actually very important to pass, because for me, for example, the grading system in Finland was very strange. Like usually you can, for example, gather 100 points for the course, and everything which is below 50 will be not passing the course. This for me was a little bit of shock, but after that you can understand that 1 is also a grade. Have never experienced by taking it, but still it's an opportunity here. And yes, you as you form your study plan by yourself, you can try to make the workload comfortable for you. So I try to do this, but still I'm looking forward to the second period with these 4 courses at once, and it sounds kind of rough, but still I think it's fine. Yeah. What about you, Mohan?
Yeah, for me, like the course load in terms of managing it, the courses, again, as we were discussing, the study plan is up to us to decide. So it all depends on how you are planning your studies over a period of time. As Katharina was mentioning, you need to complete 120 credits. In that, 30 credits will be your thesis, and then 90 credits need to be completed. For example, let's say 1.5 years. That's how it goes. But again, there's no limit that we need to complete this many credits in a year or in a period. So it depends on how you're planning. Then coming to the load side, yes, there were some courses, sometimes it kind of overlap. So you need to take care of few things here and there. So, and then when you discuss this with your professor or with the study planner, study advisor, so you will be assigned with a study advisor. So you can openly discuss with those study advisors about your plans, or what kind of courses you want to do, what is missing in your study plan, or any kind of those questions which are related to studies or academics. You are assigned with a study advisor. So they will guide you just in case if you are lost. But if you're clear, then it would be easy. It would be an easy ride. Just maybe this might be some kind of a difficulty for especially for international students and that to non-European student, that the scholarship that will be received, that if you receive, will be for 2 years. So that means you need to complete your studies within 2 years, or after that you need to pay the tuition fee. So, but for a European student, it might be different, that they can prolong their studies, but it is not recommended because you might be having some plans to do a job or something like that. So it's up to you. This might be something that has to be considered if you're an international student, that you need to complete your studies. But beyond that, my experience that I completed 60 credits in a year. So that was a smooth ride for me. So, and at the same time, I'm also working a part-time job. So that wasn't a difficult task. But again, I should warn you, it depends on how you are planning, how well you are planning your study plan. And again, what kind of courses you are choosing. So that might be something that I would like to add for the course load. Just maybe the question that Labiba has asked, what kind of courses that we are doing currently, or I am doing. Currently, I'm in the final stages where I completed my 90 credits, as I explained. So those were the courses related. and 30 credits is a thesis. Currently, I'm doing a thesis with Aalto thesis, which is again a multidisciplinary. So again, I'm doing a project with the two different background people, and that too with a company. So this is kind of course exposures you have in Aalto University.
All right, thank you guys for the detail. I'm sure it's very much appreciated by our international participants. Let's move along. All right, so now we have, what does a typical day look like for you guys? I believe this is Katja's schedule, so if you would want to explain what's going on here.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm trying to organize my life this year a bit better than the previous one. So I try to wake up early, but then I have a long window for my morning routine, is like trying to really wake up, to grab some coffee and do breakfast. But usually I still have like an hour to do a small preparation for my classes, which usually starts at 10. So I like recheck my assignment or just go briefly through the previous lecture to remember what is going on. Then I have 2 classes, after which I'd like to grab a dinner. Then I have my part-time job as a teaching assistant, or in November I will go to the research assistant position. So I just have a dedicated time for my working. Then I have a time for working out, and then I'm starting doing my homework, which is usually a lot. And after that, I have a couple of hours for my hobbies, like going to a dance practice or just watch some series on Netflix. And I usually try to go to sleep at 11, but if I do have deadlines, of course, I will go a bit later, but I'm still trying to manage my time a little bit better this time. Yep.
All right, thank you, Katja. I respect you for trying to wake up that early, genuinely. Let's move on. And then this is Mohan's schedule. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, waking up early in winter would be a difficult task. But anyway, the alarm will ring at 7:30 if you keep it at that time. So it takes some time to wake up. Then followed with a hot cup of tea, and then some current affairs that just go through some news. From that until the 8 o'clock, and then just getting fresh, and then starting my lectures at 9 to 11:45 or something like that. And then you always have a Finnish friend, so we need to go for lunch a little early, which will be around 12 o'clock or 11:30-ish, somewhere around. So it would be a lunchtime with friends post-COVID. Let me put that word for. And then it starts with the coursework, then a small tea break, followed with my hobbies or some kind of jogging around the woods nearby. Then I enjoy cooking, so that's a part of my routine. So I do cook, especially in the evenings, then dining, and then time to sleep. And yes, if there are any deadlines, just will be little like won't be sleeping early, waiting for some time, maybe 12-ish or something like that. And then yeah, again the day repeats again. But one thing that is missing here is how I spend my weekends. Maybe that something is missing here, but yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Thank you. Weekends are very much an exception. Don't worry, we get it. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our next section, which is regarding the campus and campus life in general. So as you know, we have our beautiful broad campus situated in Otaniemi, and now our panelists will tell you more about it from their perspective. So the first question is, what is the campus like for you guys? And just for some pointers, we're looking for what you think about the location, the school facilities, the services that are offered, such as restaurants, sports, etc. And then what kind of facilities does it offer specifically for your studies and your field? And whoever wants to start can start.
I can go ahead. Well, I fell in love with campus like 2 years ago when I firstly visited it for my internship. And I really think that it is very, very, very beautiful, and you have a lot of space to walk and like to just spend your free time. Like we have a beautiful bay here right around the corner, and so you can like just explore for a lot of days here, and you will still probably won't see everything. Speaking about the facilities, there is a huge range of things that you can go and do. Like right now, as my master's degree doesn't really needs anything in the campus, all of my studies are online, and I think I haven't been on an offline class for this time. But for example, computer science building, which is the right top picture on the slide, like creates a lot of space for working and just spending time, or if you want to go there and focus, it is possible there. I used to work there as a research assistant, and I really like the building. But except facilities for studies, there is also a huge range of opportunities to go for a hobby. Like for example, you can rent a class for your dance practices, or you can go to the gym, or to the or to the stadium for running, playing basketball, volleyball, or things you want to do. And during winter, everything is covered with snow. You can walk on ice, for example, or just do stuff with snow or play, like, so a lot of opportunities. And yeah, and for me also, like for my bachelor studies, we have had this separate buildings of the university in different parts of the city, but here everything is in one place, which is, I think, is very convenient and very cool and comfortable as well. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, campus is so beautiful here. You can see clearly the 4 seasons. Like every season is very beautiful in its own way. Yeah, it's obvious that throughout the Finland, you clearly see that seasonal difference. I think for people who are from tropical zones, maybe that is a little difficult, but here it's very obvious. Then coming to the facilities that are available in the campus, beyond the lecture rooms, the big halls, we have places to study. When like you can book a space for your study or for your meetings or exercises that you want to do with your group mates. So that kind of possibilities are there, and we have a very beautiful library where there are some silent rooms where you can go and study. And I think it stays until little late in the evening. So those kind of facilities are available. And then I maybe this is a little specific that I'm talking for people who are more on the mechanical side or manufacturing might be a little more interested, that we have facilities like vertical machining centers or those kind of high-end tools and machineries are available in the design factory. So if you are trying to build something made either for your project or for your course related stuff, those kind of facilities are available. I think I was mostly specifically talking about mechanical, but I think those kind of facilities are also available maybe for art students or some other departments. These kind of facilities are just in walkable distance, or you just have to go for few meters walk. So it's there for you in the campus. And then even the cafeterias are closely linked inside the premises. So you just walk, it's always there inside. You can just go to different cafeterias to taste different menus. So this is how the campus is. Yeah, I think that's from the campus side.
Great, thank you guys. And then the next question is directly related. So what is your personal favorite thing about the campus? And Mohan, you could start.
Yes, actually, I'm a more sports person, so there are facilities around the campus. That's the ones that interest me. And as I was explaining most of the times, uh, I enjoy building stuff. So I used to spend most of my time in the design factory, and that. But of course, the architecture here is very beautiful. Every place you go, it has a different architecture, and it has some story that you need to know, which makes you excited. And at the end of the day, it's a culture that you understand, which gives you very different perspective. That's so I maybe I cannot explain you what is exactly that I like here, but whatever I experience, I enjoy it. So I think when you are that open-minded, you enjoy a lot of stuff here that you see. Um, just on a funny note, before I came to Finland, the lowest temperature I was is plus 13 degrees, which means I have never seen snow in my life. Uh, so the first winter was very bad that we didn't have snow, and the second winter was almost minus 24 degrees. So the previous picture where you have seen some beautiful shapes made from snow. So that was a very good winter, and I was so much excited, and I did few ice skating or some stuff, and I fall on my face as well. So these things are normal. There are a lot of things. So in and around campus, everything you see, you get excited, and it has some history. Katarina, you can go with your experience with the campus.
Yeah. I'm really a big city person, so I came here from a big city, so sometimes I miss the crowdness, but still I really appreciate the closeness to the nature, because you actually like can go to the forest or to the bay, and it can help you to relax and like to breathe in, breathe out very briefly. But also, as well as Mohan said, the architecture here is very beautiful. Like Aalto is, I guess, the most famous Finnish architecture, and the most classic buildings were designed by him. And you can see that everything is like being in one style, and it looks very cool and very nice. And for example, the one of the pictures here, like with the big black building, it's a Dipoli building, which I guess is my favorite one on the campus. It's look very, very stylish, and it just like wows you when you go near it. Yeah.
Yeah, just to add one more point to Katharina's point. Finnish lifestyle is very simple, and it's well thought of. Everything is simple. The designs, even the chairs that you said, or the tables that you use, is very simple, but they think the usability aspect so much. And even the smallest to the smallest things, you appreciate it, how well they thought of. So it's something that you need to experience, and it's very wonderful, simple and wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you guys. Lovely answers from the both of you. Okay, so we moved on to our next section regarding housing and student benefits. Again, another very important topic, especially for our international applicants. So let's move right along. So the first question is, what kind of housing options are there available for students? Was it difficult for you guys to find a place to live? And sort of what kind of apartments are on offer in terms of apartment type and location and price, and through what channels can you find these apartments from? And whoever wants to start can start.
Yeah, I'll go ahead with this question. So here, basically, we have student housing. There are which were offered to students at a very discounted price in comparison with the private housing that you can get here. But basically, we have this AYY, which is Aalto University Student Union. So they offer student housing and some other facilities, some kind of van facility or rental facilities, as well as sauna, some kind of reservations that you can make. So So this student union is the one that would be your first choice if you're planning to study here at Aalto. And then we have HUAS, which is the Helsinki Student Union. That union. So here also you get a pretty discounted student housing. These are the two options. But I have to share my experience that it's a little tricky here. Housing, you need to be a little proactive in applying before. And I think when I received my student housing just before I arrived to Aalto University. So yes, I was a little late. I think I applied 1 or 2 months before, which was little on the I applied very late. But if you're a little proactive, then I think student housing will be easy to get. And then I moved from HUAS previously. First offer that I got is from the HUAS, and then I moved to AYY. AYY housing are pretty close to the university. HUAS has limited housing opportunities, housings in near the campus. What kind of rooms are available? So there are sharing apartments where you share the kitchen or the restroom with different inmates. That's kind of option, shared rooms. And then we have studio apartments and then friends apartments from AYY. So there are few offerings that you can go through their websites, and then this will be you can understand what kind of offerings they have and what would be the waiting list for these housings. But beyond that, if there are some private housing offerings, I think those are a little on the costier side. The best part staying in the student housing is there is always a buzz around. So if you are more like a party person, staying in this kind of student housing, and especially near the university, is a good choice. And if you prefer quiet places, then I think the same student housing has offerings that you can look away from the campus. So yeah, that's the opportunities here for students.
Yeah, I can add a little bit. Like, first of all, sharing apartments sometimes include bathroom into your room, so you share only kitchen, which I think perfect opportunity to live in. Like, for example, we have 4 people in our shared apartment and we share only kitchen. So if you don't like speaking to people very much, it's also a variant which works perfectly fine. I have 2 Finnish neighbors and we do not communicate much. Also, for example, from my experience, I applied for both AYY and HUAS, and I received offers on the same day. But I preferred the one from AYY because it was on the campus, close to all the buildings which are interested to me, and the host apartment was a bit far from both city and the campus. So for me, the choice was obvious. But still, for example, my offer started on the 1st of October, even though the studies were starting in September, but it was not a problem because everything was online last year. But it's still an opportunity that you have, that you can receive an offer that started a bit later than you need it. Yep.
All right. Thank you, guys. Let's move right along. So really quickly, where do you guys yourselves live? And why do you choose to live there, or why did you choose to live there?
Well, I live on campus in a shared apartment with 3 neighbors. It's a pretty, I'm actually living near the party place where every event is held on campus, but I have my like windows on the other side, and I think I'm lucky because I still can sleep well. And I like this place actually very much because I think my room is big enough, and I have a bathroom on my own. And important thing about apartments here that they are not furnished beforehand, so you need to like buy or find furniture on yourself. So I actually did my room the way I like it, and I'm very, very comfortable with the place I'm living in.
Yeah, just to add one more point that yes, furniture, these are mostly unfurnished. All of the student housing are unfurnished. But the beautiful thing here, the students that we do is we have groups, local like Telegram groups, where we give away stuff that if someone is moving away from the campus, we give away to the next students. So this kind of small help from within the student community was something that you can get here in Aalto University. And coming to where I live in a friend's apartment, so it's a two-room shared apartment where I share kitchen and the bathroom with one of my friend. And friend's room apartment is little easy to get if you have someone whom you know very close. So, and I think it is offered by Ava. And the beautiful part is I got a ground floor, and I have a small garden from that I can just walk through. So the picture that you see on the right is my apartment, and I live in the ground floor with a sea facing, the perfect land to live. Yes, and they are also the rent is cheaper in comparison with other apartments.
All right, thank you guys. Just a heads up to our panelists, we're running a little low on time, so let's try to speed it up a little bit, but it's all good. So the next question we could just quickly gloss over. Is it easy for you guys to get to campus? I'm assuming yes, since you live there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
The public transportation is well connected here, not only to the campus, but it's very easy to go around. So you don't need any other vehicle or something like that. So it's well thought of and well connected. So perfect place.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. And then we have what kind of student benefits are there in terms of, well, housing and student meals and other services? What has been relevant to you guys in your daily lives?
Oh, well, we have and there is various discounts to a bunch of different shops like Reebok, Nike. They also provide student discounts. Also, as a student, you can buy a cheaper ticket for the transportation. It costs 1/2 of the price for the regular ticket. And also, if you're a student, you can buy a student meal for only 270 euros in comparison with the full price, nearly 10 euros. So it's actually kind of cool to be a student.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So being a student is a privilege here in Finland, and you get a lot of discounts either within the campus, or if you're going even away from the campus, make sure that you ask student discounts. Nowadays, it has been moved to digital wallet, so you're always you just have your student card. You can just show it and get a student discounts. And it's Finland is student friendly. You get different benefits being a student here.
Good to hear that you guys have found some useful benefits available. Then we have our next section dedicated to career opportunities. So the first question is it possible to combine studies with work or like working part-time? Are you guys working yourselves? I'm sure that you have mentioned already that you have. And sort of where can students find jobs if they are interested?
Yeah. First of all, the first thing you need to do is to check whether your residence permit allows you to work and how many hours per week you're allowed to work. For example, my permit allows me to work 25 hours a week, but I think I do less. Right now, I'm working as a teaching assistant for my professors in the university. And also, I have experience with working in the user interfaces lab, also on campus. And I think if you're interested in like scientific work or academic work, it is kind of easy to find a position, because you can write a professor like, do they need help like as a research assistant or anything like project work or something else. If you're really into it, you can find opportunities for yourself. Just don't be shy and try to reach out to people. It's always beneficial.
Yeah, I think I'm in the different dimension since I was mostly looking to work in industrial side. I am not so lenient towards research side, I think. So yeah, I was working as a consultant in one company. So where I met them during one of the course interactions, and then again you have to be vocal that you're looking for a position, and you share what you want to do, what you're looking for. So that's kind of interaction or the networking is very important, either with the professors or with the industries. Sometimes professors has some kind of connection with the industries where they give you a heads up which direction or whom to contact. So those kind of opportunities you should be ready to grab, or you should be very vocal. Yes, there are possibilities to combine studies with work, and in my study plan, actually, I forgot the course name exactly, but where I'll get some credits by working in a company for a specific period of time. So those kind of possibilities are there where you could plan your study plan accordingly. Yeah, that's my experience with the studies, combining studies and work.
Thank you, guys. And then a related question: what kind of career opportunities are there for students and recent graduates, and how can they be accessed? Are there like sort of like career fairs and networking events and such? And whoever wants to answer can go ahead.
Yeah, I can start. So we have a internal portal which was known as Job Teaser, Aalto Job Teaser, where most of the companies post their ads, and you filter out what jobs that you want to apply, and you can contact them. Then we have some job fairs that happen regularly, once in a semester. So you have the opportunity to meet the employees in a place, and then you ask what's your preferences, what kind of roles, open positions are there in those company. So those kind of general talks that you can meet them and you can ask them. And even this year it has been moved to online. Then also it was conducted. So you have the opportunity, and at the same time there are some kind of workshops related to improving your CV, and then I think cover letter. Those kind of workshops, small workshops, also for the student to take opportunity to go ahead in their career. And beyond that, here LinkedIn is most prevalent. So people go through the posts that are open in LinkedIn and connect with the different people. Those kind of opportunities are available if you're planning to work in industries. And then I have a few friends who are also into the research side. So they approach professors. They understand what are the open positions to continue their career after master studies or something like that. Maybe Katerina might be a perfect person to explain that.
Yeah, for the research, like from my experience, the easiest way is just to write the person you're interested in to ask whether it is possible to work with him or her. Like this is my case. I just wrote to the head of the lab, and after that he like managed to match me with a person to work with. Also, for example, during some of our lectures, when we have a guest lecturers, our professors usually ask whether they need assistance or not, and sometimes it is also a case for find a place for yourself. And also, for example, the head of my study program has a special like Teams channel for different opportunities where he sends us offers from some companies or other professors or even different universities. So it is also, even you're like into the research, you also have an opportunity to work with some companies who are research oriented or just need some research about like their field of interest. So yeah, there are kind of a lot of different career opportunities, and also Finnish laws allows you to stay here for finding a job after you graduated.
Great, thank you guys. We're going to be moving on to our next section, student life, so a bit lighter this time. So the first question is, what is student life at Aalto like? Are you guys a part of any associations? Are you volunteering? What sort of events are on offer? Do you do any sports, etc.? And Katja can start.
Yep. Actually, I'm not the most active person regarding the student life because I started my studies when the pandemic was at the worst time. And for me, it was kind of hard to connect to other people. So I focused mainly on my studies. But I'm really active in supporting like younger students during the courses. Like it is not my first time as a teaching assistant. So I'm really into this, but also Aalto provides a lot of opportunities. Like there are a lot of different sports teams like football, volleyball, basketball, and so on. There are a couple of martial arts clubs and also different dance clubs. So like music classes. So if you're really into something, you can do this here, like for sure.
Yeah, I have a little more little experience that because I started not in the peak time in the COVID, a little earlier post-COVID times. So it is very vibrant, especially the starting days of your studies. So the month of September is the best period of a student life because it's always colorful. You see people around, you meet them, you understand where they are from, what their experiences are. So it's that was the best period. And then the second best period starts in the summer. It's the nature is beautiful here, and you plan some kind of tours or trips with your friends. So that's basically student life. Beyond that, there are here and there are some kind of guild parties. So here, every department has their own guild. I'm from Prodeco, so we organize some kind of tours, excursions, or some kind of mushroom picking, berry picking, or so these kind of small activities where you interact with people. And at the same time, we have excursions to the companies where we meet. We go for dinner or some kind of evening party with the company people and understand their working culture. So yeah, it's a little on the chill side, but at the same time, you get an exposure that you needed for your career. Yeah, it's very colorful. And even during the winter, it is colorful, even though it is dark outside.
All right, thank you. And then what do you guys yourselves do in your free time? And whoever wants to start and who's excited can start.
Well, I can start. Like for example, there's a bunch of pictures of mine. Like for example, with my friend, we rent a dance room from AYY facilities, and each week we go for dance practices there. It is possible and it is free, which was kind of surprising and kind of cool. During the summer, I tried kayaking, which was a very nice experience. Didn't thought that I would like that so much. Also, here libraries are very different, for example, from the libraries in my country. Here we have a big library OD in Helsinki, and there you can just go to play PlayStation or Xbox if you want to. So it's also a kind of spending your leisure time if you want to. And also Helsinki is very artsy city, so there is a bunch of museums you can go to and experience like different styles and to know more about history or like anything actually. Like for example, Amos Rijks is one of the central museums where they have exhibitions from time to time, and it is a very cool place to go.
Yeah, I think to the audience from Asian countries, people who are interested in cricket, yes, there are few cricket clubs here around. So I do play in a few clubs, and I do motorcycle riding is my hobby. So I do that, badminton, whatnot, whatever the adventure, whatever the things that just excites me, just go around, explore it. And the only thing that was missing here is my winter activities, which I am planning to add those in my bucket list in the coming years. But yeah, there are so many sports that you can do here in the free time. You can go around. The nature is so beautiful. So yeah, it's a different place altogether.
Thank you. Very wide range of activities you guys have got there. So our last section before we move on to our Q&A is dedicated to the Aalto community. We're going to try and speed it up so we have time to actually answer the questions. So just real quick, how did you guys feel like you were welcomed to the community in terms of arriving to Finland and your tutors? Was it easy to get to know people, etc.? And whoever wants to start.
Yeah, I can go ahead because I was acting as tutor for 2 years. For my experience, first time when I came here, I don't know anything about Finland and the culture. So tutors, you will be assigned with tutors. So tutors are the first or second year students who are already studying here in Aalto from the same department. So they will contact you even before you reach to Finland, and you can discuss the practicalities with them, and they try to extend their hands as much as possible to make you comfortable to get integrated into this different lifestyle. So that's the job of tutor, which will normally happen during the month of September or just 1 month before that. And then coming to how I was welcomed here. I'll give you an example here. Even the picture that you see on the right bottom one, where the two extreme, the left side and the right side, she's from Mexico and I'm from India, and rest of them are Finnish. Even though they are Finnish, if they sense as we are approaching them, they try to change their language to English, and that's just an example of how well Finns treat you here. So as an international student, you are always welcomed in the community, and it feels wonderful when people are trying to help you and give you their experiences, sharing their experiences with you. I was welcomed very warmly here.
Yeah, for me, the experience was good as well. Like I was familiar with Finland a lot, so there was no any troubles in like going and just to find the place where I'm staying and etc. And for example, picture on the top of the slide, this is our retreat with the lab during the summer. So we went to an island to swim and to hike, sorry. So we just spent a lot of time there, and our lab, there is a lot of people from all over the world. Like there are Finns, people from Germany, Switzerland, Russia, India, and so on and so on. So there is a like very diverse community where you can meet people from all over the world, which is very, very nice.
All right, thank you guys. So the next question is, again, just really quickly, what do you guys think it's like to be an international student at Aalto?
Aalto is a very welcoming place for international students, and there are a lot of opportunities to just smooth in the community and to meet other people and to like hang out either with Finns or other international students. So there should be no problem with it. It is a very nice place to stay.
Yeah, perfect. There's nothing to add to that Katarina's comment.
Great, gotcha. You have a way with words. All right. And then last question of this webinar, what do you guys think? Is it possible to survive in Finland without knowing Finnish? Go ahead.
Yes, I can go with this question. Maybe slightly one small point that we missed during the courses is the language requirement. So if you you need to in your study plan you need to complete, I think, 3 credits language course. That's a mandatory requirement. So most of the non-Finnish speakers take Finnish course first and foremost to understand the culture. Yes, that really helps you, and it also gives you very basic understanding of Finnish, which is really helpful to be here. But the question comes: is it really required to know Finnish? The answer is no, because everyone here, even within the supermarket, you get a support from people where they speak. Most of the Finns speak English, so it won't be a problem. But the good thing is, if you know Finnish, is they extend their hand much further. If you are trying to speak a little bit Finnish, you get a very warm welcoming or very good support. That's what my experience is. And at the same time, university provides an opportunity to study Finnish beyond those 3 credits as well. It is a wonderful experience to know Finnish, but it is not mandatory. But again, the question comes to you whether the Finnish is needed for you or not in your career. For example, going forward with the jobs, it depends on what kind of jobs are you looking for. For example, if you're looking in the manufacturing side, then yes, Finnish is needed because that would be speaking language within the manufacturing industry. But if you're going to more towards the programming side, then I think Finnish is not that mandatory. So it depends. But there won't be any problem to survive here in Finland without Finnish.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I think pretty much everybody speaks English here. Like, there may be some part of old generation which doesn't know the language, but the vast majority will understand you. But for me, I like to do small challenges and like to try to speak in Finnish, at least in shops. And it is always nice when you can go away after the whole conversation in Finnish, but it's not the requirement for sure.
All right, thank you guys. Yes, so we're finally at the Q&A section of our webinar. Thanks for sitting through all of that, everyone, including our panelists. So Anna, who is the moderator of this webinar, has sent me sort of all of the questions that have come up during this webinar, and we're just going to go through them and what we can get answered. So the first one is, how easy or difficult is it to find places of internship for non-Finnish speaking students? Are your schoolmates having trouble finding those places? What are your guys' experience?
I cannot say that there is a trouble because, as I said before, Aalto is an international place here, and a lot of opportunities are provided for English-speaking people at first. Some job offers state that like knowing Finnish is a benefit, but it is not a requirement in like 90% of offers. Like here, you can try to find a place easily. And for example, LinkedIn offers are usually in English and not in Finnish, so it should not be a problem at all.
Yeah, I think it's likely maybe the question would be like, what kind of jobs are you looking for? I think that's where it should start. And if your goal is more towards not handling people, in that sense, I think there are opportunities for non-English speakers. But again, those kind of jobs where Finnish is needed, it will be clearly mentioned in the job, so that won't be that's in that. I mean, the question is like, are there enough opportunities for the students? Yes, there are opportunities. And I have worked in my internship in ABB, which is a multinational company, and those kind of multinational companies are here around. So where they welcome diversity, you get into those companies even though if you don't know Finnish. But always Finnish is an advantage, but it's not the barrier for you to get into the companies and the internships. And you have internship opportunities in summer, either within the university as a research assistant or outside the university in the companies as a training. Yes.
All right, thank you guys. Next up, we have a question directed towards Mohan specifically. Someone says, I'm interested in both human-computer interaction and security. If I apply for security and cloud computing, may I do research in both fields? As I know there is human-computer interaction and security engineering lab from Professor Janne, if you happen to know. It would be nice if you can share your experience with professors as well. So Katya, if you have anything else to add to this as well. But Mohan, go ahead if you have any answer.
I think the question is not for me because I'm from industrial engineering background. So human computer is not my field. I hope it's Katarina, is that yours?
Yeah, I think I'm not very familiar with the security program, but human-computer interaction like really allows you to combine your research interests, because, for example, some of our professors like do their research in e-health, others like prefer to work in the game research, and like the user interfaces lab is mostly considered about like the specific interactions like with the personal computer, like eye tracking and stuff. So I think it is more than possible, but I'm not sure that I can go in details because I myself do not have any experience with like security program and professors from that field.
There was some mix up, but thank you for trying to answer the question anyways. I do appreciate it. So we'll move right along. The next question is, can you guys tell us some more about the labs that are available on campus?
There is a bunch of labs. Like I'm mostly familiar with the user interfaces one because I have experience in working in it, but also there is a lab which is devoted to the game research and like some artsy things in like development and stuff. Also, there is a lab about e-health, and also I'm pretty sure that there was something like with e-commerce. So yeah, actually there is a bunch of versatile labs which are devoted to the very different topics. And in the most cases, you can find something that is interested for you. Do you want to add something, Mohan, maybe?
Yeah, actually, labs are, I'm not that familiar with labs because my focus is more towards industry side. So, but just to give on that perspective as well, there are some kind of maybe labs or maybe the workshops that companies usually organize here. I think Deloitte has a lab dedicated in the undergraduate building. And then there will be always a collaboration that is happening within the university with the companies. So they have their working spaces where you can go and try add your inputs to those companies. So that's one addition that I would like to add, but I don't know how far it is equivalent to a lab. It's something that I'm not familiar.
All right, thank you guys. Next question. Hopefully I'm addressing the right person this time, Katya. This is for you. Someone said, I'm a sociology graduate of master's degree. Are there many master's degree students coming from social science background? What was particularly difficult for you to enroll into the degree you study now?
Yeah. So first of all, there is a very diverse background from our students. Like I know my group mate who came from the musical development or something like this. So actually, it really depends on your interest and how are you going to manage your studies, because you can focus more on the social side of the human-computer interaction or on the programming one. For example, I had experience when I dropped the course because it was too hard for me. I really tried, but at some point I understand that it's not for me, and it's better for me to just take something which is more close to me and not to go too far away from my social science background. But still, it requires a lot of like time to sometimes to dive into like the programming side. But if you're interested in this, I think it's worth a shot, because for me, the transition from social science to human-computer interaction is a wonderful experience. And if I could like do some alternative choice 2 years ago, I would probably don't do it, because I think that this is the place where like I belong, and I'm like really passionate about my studies.
All right, thank you, Katya, for the answer. Couple more questions left. Someone says, I saw that there are many projects done in terms of brain and neurosciences connected to many subjects, such as language. I'm very interested in neurosciences, and this person is asking if you guys have possibly any more information about that topic.
Yeah, there is a neuroscience lab for sure. And also, for example, I know that like in the same time as going a lecture in user research course about neuroscience and like brain studies, because it is also can be a part of human-computer interaction. So, and also there are courses on these topics. So if you're really interested in it, there is an opportunity for you to evolve in this field.
Mohan, do you have anything to add?
No, not from this.
Okay, great. The next question is for the both of you, and your own experience. So how's the pandemic there as in Finland, and how does it affect the learning and life for you guys?
Yeah, I can take this question. So actually, I actually started the pandemic that started the initial period where I was doing some product development courses where then there needs to be a physical presence to develop a product. And I should really appreciate the way the transition has been done by Aalto University from the contact teaching to the remote teaching. I think it has it happened within 2 weeks of period, and then university was looking at ways to provide opportunity for the students on how to get things done. And at that time, they have given us opportunity to bring the equipment to our living area. So it was really a good experience. And now it's slowly easing off, but still we are taking caution before the university opens completely to the students. Slowly it is changing, but if the cases are going to rise, then there will be some kind of restriction. So it's kind of uncertain situation at this point. But we are hoping soon we get the student life back again.
Yeah, now is everything getting better? Me myself, I'm not very comfortable with the whole situation as a lot of other people, because I used to like to talk more in live, and when I came here, everything was pretty much dead and there were no people, so it hit me hard right from the start. But finally, it's getting better and better. And Finland is very good, like in terms of coping with the pandemic. Like the majority of people are vaccinated, and the restrictions are slowly easing, which is good. And yeah, I think like very soon everything will go back to normal, like, hopefully.
Fingers crossed, guys. All right, last question. This was somewhat covered during our webinar, but in case you guys have something to add, what are the possibilities of working in research labs as an assistant during graduate studies? Is it rare or a common scenario to hire graduate students in different research labs within the university?
It really depends on the funding of the lab at the time. Like I, for example, have a like girl who we're friends with. She was here a master's student, and right now she's pursuing a PhD. Also, I have a friend who was here as a intern, and afterwards he stayed here for being an assistant for a bit longer, and then he started his PhD in University of Helsinki. So he transitioned from Aalto to Helsinki University. So yeah, it's not very rare situation when students stay here for doing an academic career. And also speaking about like the research and assistantship in general, sometimes you can see the advertisements from the lab themselves, but in a lot of cases you can just reach professors out and like find a position for yourself.
Anything to add, Mohan?
No, I have a little experience on the lab side, so I think
Got it.
we should go with Katarina's experience on this.
All right, it's Katya's word against Mohan's. Okay, well, that wraps up the Q&A section of this webinar, which means we're at the end. So I can quickly wrap this up. So what's next? You should be in contact with us. And I saw a lot of questions in the chat regarding admission services. I mean, the requirements and scholarships and all of these things. So they will be addressed this Friday when we have the webinar with our admission services. You get to sit down with them, grill them, you know, get all those answers out of them. So do not worry, everything will be answered. Or then if you cannot participate in that for whatever reason, we have the email that I mentioned before, which is the admissions@aalto.fi. So you can send any questions regarding admissions, since they are very complicated procedures. So just send them a message and they'll help you out. And if you'd like to contact some other people, we have other facilities to do that. So we have a group of student ambassadors called the Aalto Squad, which, by the way, I am a part of, not to brag at all, but I'm there. So essentially, we're just here to sort of talk to you guys, get in contact, answer any questions you have about student life or just Aalto in general. So you can find us, for example, on UniBuddy, where most of us have a profile. We're all from different fields within Aalto, business, science, art, you name it. And you can just sort of send us a message, talk to us about whatever questions you may have. And then we also have these Friday coffee sessions where we sit down with a cup of coffee on Zoom and just, you know, talk it out. And then you can find any relevant updates on aalto.fi/studies. I think that is all from us, and I hope to see you guys on campus next year in 2022. I'd like to thank the panelists for sitting here for an hour talking and talking. I'm sure your mouths are very dry. I hope you get a sip of water after this. Thank you to Anna for moderating. Thank you to the participants for having the time and patience to sit through this with us. Thank you to myself for interviewing with this cough that has been killing me for the past few days. And yeah, thank you everyone for joining. I hope to see you guys soon and have a nice rest of the week. Bye-bye.